Hey, this is Dr. Osborne. So I wanted to spend some time with you talking about digestive enzymes. So I know this is probably not something you ever thought about, but let's talk about some of the signs and symptoms that you actually might benefit from taking digestive enzymes. So, as you know, a perfectly healthy person, we're always going to produce the right amount of digestive enzymes that your body needs. Your body never makes any mistakes. But there's a lot of reasons that can cause us to become deficient. So I think if your body's not making enough digestive enzymes, the problem is that it's always about toxicity and deficiency. And if you're deficient in your digestive enzymes, it's going to lead to malnourishment, all kinds of gastrointestinal issues, and a variety of other symptoms, even if you're trying to eat a balanced, healthy diet. But luckily, there's digestive enzymes, and you can get them in a supplemental form that can be a really effective way to help your body break down the food that you eat, increase your nutrient absorption, and reduce symptoms like gas and bloating. So, why do I need to take digestive enzymes? So, there's a lot of symptoms, and here's some of the things that I've been thinking about that you should know. These are signs that your body's not making enough digestive enzymes that you could benefit from a supplement. So first of all, you have digestive issues. So one of the first symptoms of that your digestive enzymes might be low is if you experience things like gas or bloating. And I see this all the time in the office: acid reflux, people talking about cramping, irregular bowel movements. When you look down in the toilet in the morning, if you have undigested food in your stool, and that includes feeling like food is just sitting in your stomach, or you're full only after a few bites. If you have a poor diet, what we eat really has a lot to do with our body's functions, and that also means that a poor diet can actually reduce the amount of digestive enzymes that are released when we're eating. See, when we eat low amounts of fruits and veggies with a high amount of cooked processed foods like that are high in sugar or in inflammatory foods like gluten and dairy and soy and even coffee and alcohol, all those things can have a negative effect on whether your digestive enzymes are going to be at your best and you actually digest your food. Another reason is that you're tired all the time, right? And this is one of the most common things that I hear in the office is that people talk about they're tired all the time. And they're like, I'm doing the right things, Dr. Osborne. I'm eating healthy. I'm detoxing. I'm exercising. I'm doing all the things that I need to do. Why am I tired? Look, you can eat all the veggies, you can eat all the salads in the world, but if your digestive enzymes are low, there is absolutely no way you're going to be able to unlock the treasure trove of nutrients that's locked inside of you, which means that your body isn't going to be able to absorb those nutrients that it needs for energy. And what this does is this leads to nutrient deficiencies and fatigue, and all kinds of other symptoms will set in. Another reason why you need to take digestive enzymes: you're chronically stressed out. Look, we just came through a brutal last 3 years. And that was on top of an already stressed life. If you're the mom, the carpool mom running, like going from thing to thing to thing, if you're trying to get, you're stressed out about work, you're stressed out about this, that your kids are stressed in school. When we're chronically stressed, well, stress is an underlying cause of so many symptoms and ultimately diseases in our world, but it can also affect how well our digestive system is functioning. So when you're stressed, not only is it common to experience symptoms of heartburn and things like diarrhea, but those are the most obvious things, but your body's going to have trouble releasing enough digestive enzymes. And stress can actually put a greater energy and nutrient demand on your body. So getting your digestive enzymes in check can help you get the nutrients that you need to help your body combat that effect, the effects of the stress of the world that we live in. So I'm in my 50s now. So one of the challenges is as we get older, things stop being produced. And so if you're over the age of 45, look, there's nothing that we can do about aging, but by the time we hit around 45, our enzyme production starts to decrease. And this is when we can start having trouble digesting certain foods. You notice that we become more sensitive. And once again, after seeing almost 1 million interactions with patients just like you, one of the most common things is that all of a sudden, like, I'm starting to have heartburn, I'm starting to have, like bloating and cramping and, constipation. And it just happens in that magic 40s time. So taking a digestive enzyme supplement can actually help your body break down the foods that it was once able to break down. Another reason why digestive enzymes are important is you just can't lose weight. So you're eating, you're right, you're exercising, and the scale is not moving. Well, there's a possibility that you could be low in digestive enzymes. Poor digestion can hinder proper absorption of nutrients and give the body and give the body a lot of trouble expelling the waste products and causing excess. When you can't get rid of your toxins, they have to be stored in your body somewhere, and so you're going to need excess storage of water and fat. Another reason why you want to look at like taking digestive enzymes, you get sick a lot, or you have problems with things like candida or yeast. Look, we've already learned that the job of your digestive enzymes is to break down foods into smaller molecules so your body can get the nutrients it needs. But they also help break down the fiber that we eat. And so this turns in turn, like when the fiber that you eat, what it's going to do is it's going to help feed and promote the growth of the really good bacteria in your gut, and through a process that's called fermentation. So what that means is, and what's important about feeding those bacteria, is you actually have more bacteria in your gut than you actually have human cells in your body. So we have to, if your gut's not right, your body's not going to be right, your cells aren't going to be right. So it's super important for our immunity and the strength of our gut and our gut lining that we help these good bacteria and we crowd out the yeast and other bad microbes. See, look, I got to let you know, 80%, 70 to 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. So when you have a healthy gut lining, this is the first line of defense. Another reason, you're pregnant. So even if you're a generally healthy person, I don't know about you, but I watched what my wife went through. Pregnancy can put a tremendous nutritional and energetic demand on your body, which means your digestive system might not be at its best. And it's really common for pregnant women to experience digestive upset, heartburn, but a digestive enzyme supplement really can help ease some of those symptoms. Another reason is you have trouble digesting things like milk foods, like foods like milk. Sorry. But if you do have trouble digesting milk-based foods, you may be low on an enzyme called lactase, which digests lactose, which is the sugar that's found in your milk and your ice cream. So a lack of this enzyme doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy, as lactose intolerance can be passed down from family to family members. But it is really prevalent in a large part of our population. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause bloating and nausea, cramping. Lactose intolerance can also be eased by, once again, taking a digestive supplement. Look, I don't think there's a supplement that's designed to cure everything, but we live in a world where many times the stresses and the environment that we live in has led us to the point that we are, and creates a deficiency. And one of the things that ends up happening is over time, we have chronic illnesses, and a wide variety of diseases can cause a deficiency in these digestive enzymes. And these are things like, Crohn's disease and celiac disease, or anything that has a disease of the pancreas, chronic pancreatitis or cancer or diabetes. Like you might have heard of SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. If you've had your gallbladder removed, oh my goodness, you absolutely have to take a digestive enzyme. If you have skin issues and breakouts and things like psoriasis, for a long time, like the doctors and researchers believe that there was a connection believed that there's a connection between our skin and the health of our gut. And as the studies are coming out, there is absolutely a connection between digestive health and your skin. And a lot of practitioners believe that skin conditions like acne and eczema and psoriasis, these are all external symptoms of underlying internal gut issues. And so that's why if you have any of those things, digestive enzymes can help the body break down, absorb the skin nourishing nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, zinc, and vitamin A, C, and E to help your gut and your skin be as healthy as it possibly can. And obviously, if you have a leaky gut, this is a condition where you get these gaps in the lining in your intestinal wall that's caused by inflammation, and it allows a large chunks of undigested food to get into your bloodstream. What happens is then the immune system sees these and it attacks these particles as if they're foreign invaders, which will start causing symptoms like fatigue and food allergies and sensitivities, as well as deficiencies of nutrients like vitamin B12, which is your nervous system vitamin, magnesium, which is needed by over 300 processes in your body for you to actually have your cells function right. Remember, you're only as healthy as your cells are, so the more sick cells you have, the more sick you're going to become. And down the line, it can also cause autoimmune issues there. So what digestive enzymes do is they help your body break down food into safe and easily absorbable forms while decreasing the ability for partially digested food, the ability for partially digested food to cause damage to the gut wall and to actually activate your immune system. Hey, look, if you drink alcohol frequently or you take certain drugs, you're going to need to take a digestive enzyme. Look, if you're drinking alcohol regularly, you'll notice that you're also having digestive issues, and it's obviously time to take a break. It's best to take a break. But while many people drink because it helps them relax, it also relaxes other processes in your body, including the digestive enzymes. Those digestive enzymes get destroyed by drinking alcohol on a regular basis. All right, last thing, acid blockers. If you're at a point where now you can't even digest your food without getting heartburn, your doctor says, hey, take the purple pill, take Pepcid, or take this to block that acid. These acid blockers can prevent your body from releasing all the necessary digestive enzymes. Smoking is a no-no if you want to have a healthy digestive enzyme. Look, I could go on and on. So the thing that I want to talk to you about is really how to increase the digestive enzymes. And obviously it's by eating whole foods to build up those enzymes. You have to eat the foods that your body needs to have a healthy gut. And the primary source of these enzymes are things like raw vegetables and fruits and berries and sprouted seeds and nuts and legumes, things like pineapple, right? So we always talk about that you don't want to have fruits that have too much sugar in there, but certain fruits will have digestive enzymes in there. So pineapple, mango, ginger, papaya, avocados, kiwi. These are all great sources of plant-based digestive enzyme. And there's all kinds of naturally fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi, kefir and sauerkraut. These are all good because they help our bacteria thrive, and they're also important sources of enzymes. But we can't get all of our digestive enzymes from our food alone, which means that supplementing with digestive enzymes is an effective and sometimes an absolutely necessary way to get your digestive system happy again. They can also help you reduce and eliminate unpleasant digestive systems like I talked about earlier, like bloating and gas. And more importantly, they actually help you absorb the nutrients, which helps you become healthy. So the digestive enzyme that I'm a supporter of, that I use, is the Max Living digestive enzymes, and one of the key components in it is ox bile. So bile is a key component of your digestive system. When someone's healthy and all the organs are working the way that they should, bile is released is when they eat, and when it releases it helps us break down fats. And when the food is properly digested, all these micronutrients, things like proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and all the micronutrients, which are incredibly important, like your vitamins and your minerals like vitamin A, D, E, and K, they're absorbed and they allow our body to run like a well-oiled machine, free of disease. But when this mechanism has a wrench thrown into it, like we've had our gallbladder removed, or we have poor bile acid production, digestion, particularly of fat and fatty acids, is going to be impaired. And if this continues, then eventually there's going to be things like gallstones, our cholesterol levels are going to go out of whack, we're going to start having constipation and fatigue. Look, so bile salts are actually made in your liver, and they are actually stored in your gallbladder. And so when stored by the liver's job is it actually concentrates those bile salts by 20 times. And what that allows you to do is to break down fat, absorb those fat soluble vitamins, like I said, vitamin A, D, and K, and all the essential fatty acids like your omegas, the omega-3, 6, 7s, and 9s. And then eventually you'll have the pancreas, which also helps by releasing something called lipase, which also breaks down the fat into smaller particles. But getting back to bile, it's so important because it actually helps you detoxify chemicals in your body from the liver, and because it allows your body to eliminate more waste more effectively. So we take bile salts to help with the digestion of fat, the formation of gallstones, because gallstones come from a deficiency in bile salts. We also, what's interesting is, like, look at how amazing your body is. We make a quart of bile every day, and 90% of that bile is reabsorbed in the small intestine. So if your gut's off, you're not going to be able to reabsorb the bile there. If your liver's toxic, you're not going to be able to produce it. So if you have a gut issue, like I said, you're not going to reabsorb those bile salts. So we also have to look at the gut issue. But first thing is we got to get your body to be able to digest and break down the foods. Now, there are 3 reasons why you wouldn't want to take bile salts. The first is diarrhea. Bile salts actually cause your intestines to contract, which will make you go to the bathroom. Thus, if you have diarrhea, it's going to cause you to go to the bathroom more. On the other hand, if you have too little bile salts, you're going to have constipation. The second reason why you wouldn't want to take bile salts is if you have hyperthyroidism. Almost 80% of your conversion from T4 to T3, and T4 is the thing that they measure to determine if you have a thyroid issue. When we convert from T4 to T3, T3 is the active form of the thyroid hormone, which occurs in your liver, and the other 20% occurs in your kidney. So if you take bile salts, you could produce much more T3, which could create more of a hyperthyroid issue. Conversely, if you actually have hypothyroid, what you would want to do is you want to take it because it's going to help you produce more thyroid hormone, the usable form of T3. It could be the reason why your thyroid is slow in the first place, and there wasn't even a thyroid problem to begin with. It was probably a liver problem, and that your body wasn't able to break down that thyroid hormone there. The third reason is you have a bile malabsorption problem from something like inflammatory, like Crohn's disease or celiac or SIBO. You wouldn't want to take a bile salt if you have those, because what that means is you're having issues with your bacteria, and the bile is concentrating, and you just don't want to make more bile because it's going to aggravate and create more of an imbalance there. First thing we'd have to do in that situation is fix the gut. But many of my patients, they don't experience what's called a formed stool. One of the most amazing things is that they immediately start to see improvements when they take an ox bile, and that's what's in the digestive enzymes. What was once this greasy floating pieces of food scattered throughout your masterpiece in the morning is now formed, and the food is actually digested. If inadequate bile production is left unaddressed, you're going to experience a lot of aggravating stomach issues, nutrient deficiencies, chronically high cholesterol, even if you're having a balanced diet, and sometimes even the inability to lose weight. In some cases, that you're going to see like if you have had your gallbladder removed, it is absolutely critical that you take an ox bile and digestive enzymes, because even though you can live without a gallbladder, you can never be healthy because you'll never be able to digest your food appropriately. The other thing in the digestive enzymes is there's something called DPT4, and DPT4 is this incredibly special enzyme which aids in the breakdown of gluten and casein. These are these hard to digest proteins that we find in wheat and milk. See, gluten is a sticky storage protein that is literally challenging for your digestive tract because it binds to the small intestinal wall, where it can cause digestive and immune issues. Gluten sensitivity is an epidemic that is a major contributing factor with inflammatory and autoimmune issues. As you know, gluten tolerance is highly associated with inflammatory disorders of all kinds, whether it's just your normal aches and pains, autoimmune issues there. We can start to see that the list goes on there: rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, type 1 diabetes, Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, autoimmune cardiomyopathy, lymphomas, dermatitis. The list goes on. All kinds of skin diseases are linked with gluten issues there, and there's even some studies that talk about how kids with autism can actually be benefited when they take this, when they take the DP4. It's the important thing about the gluten is the contributing factor also to things like asthma and allergies and eczema. The other thing that I talked about with the DP4 was that there's a component in casein known as caseomorphines, and they act like opiates when they break down. And as casein slowly digests, these morphines attach to the opiate receptors in your brain and actually have you become addicted to dairy products. And also because the casein breaks down so slowly, it places an incredible amount of strain on your digestive system. So there's a lot of people that think their negative reaction to dairy is due to lactose intolerance. It's very likely they might actually be sensitive or allergic to, or not being able to break down the casein. And the digestive difficulties can become from your gut lacking that enzyme to digest that. Casein is really similar in structure to gluten, and oftentimes it can cause these adverse cross reactions of people suffering from gut intolerances. There was a study that showed about 50% of gluten sensitivity patients also have a sensitivity to casein as well. So if your symptoms haven't improved after going gluten-free, it's really a good idea to try eliminating dairy. A diet like the advanced plan is your best for your healthy digestive system, as also lessening your exposure to things like mercury and pesticides and cadmium and lead. These things have a one-time exposure or a toxic accumulation. But I think the main thing is that knowing these things that you probably want to make sure that having a digestive enzyme to help break those things down, because it's very hard to not have to be able to be exposed to on a regular basis. And the nice thing is, all you have to do is use the digestive enzymes before meals. It's helpful for, like I said, for patients who have gas and bloating and constipation and that fullness after eating, after only a small quantity of food. Now, also in the digestive enzyme supplement that we have, and I wanted to share with you, there's an enzyme called amylase. It's an enzyme that's produced both in your saliva when you eat or in our pancreas, and it's secreted in the small intestine. What it does is it helps your body to metabolize sugar and starch and then turn it into glucose there. There's also something called glucoamylase in there. This is a digestive enzyme that breaks off a free molecule from the glucose, and that the glucose change that actually that frees it up as a source for energy. So you actually get more energy from the carbohydrates that you eat. Obviously, we talked about lactase. This is an enzyme that breaks down the sugar, lactose, which comes from milk, into glucose and galactose. Many times people are deficient in this enzyme and they're unable to actually drink milk, which leads to and they find that they're in serious gastrointestinal distress and chronic inflammation. And so when we actually take in lactase, it can support the digestion of milk products and allow us to continue the consumption of milk-based products. I'm not a big fan of drinking a lot of milk, but if you are going to be drinking milk products, this is something that you absolutely need to have. So maintaining this healthy gastrointestinal flora will help to support what they call the brush border, or the ability, these small little things in your the little villi on the inside of your intestines to be able to absorb nutrients there. Another thing that's in there is papain. Papain is an incredibly powerful digestive enzyme found and extracted from the papaya fruit. It's also referred to as papaya proteinase. This enzyme plays a key role in the digestive process involving breaking down tough protein fibers. For this reason, it's used a lot of times in South America as a digestive support when people eat a lot of meat there too. So another component of the digestive enzymes is something called lipase. It's an essential enzyme for digesting of fatty or fat substances in the diet, which should be a normal part of your human metabolism. Unfortunately, when we don't have the lipase isn't released by the pancreas, we have a difficulty breaking down fats into smaller components in the intestines. There's also something in there called alpha galactosidase. This enzyme, what it does is it breaks down glycolipids, or different types of proteins and lipids that are found in starchy carbs. And then what it does is it ends up helping the body to reduce gas production. So if you get gas pains, if you get gas bloating, this is incredibly important. The key enzyme really breaks down these tough components found in food that are tough to digest. And we find these things in nuts and beans and lentils and cruciferous vegetables. There's also bromelain. Bromelain is a protein that actually helps. We find that it's found in fruits, and that's primarily what it's found in pineapple. But what it does is it breaks down proteins, and it helps to balance out this acid alkaline environment in our gut there. And then there's something called invertase. Invertase breaks down sucrose or sugars into fructose and glucose. And when sucrose is secreted onto the little tips of those, remember we talked about the hairs of the intestine. Individuals with celiac disease or intestinal inflammation might have trouble producing adequate invertase. And so it's super important. As you can see, there's so many things that it takes for you to digest your food. And if you have issues and you have digestive enzyme issues, it's just not going to work. And you're going to ask yourself why I feel this way. And there's also cellulase. These enzymes break down all the fibers in fruits and vegetables called cellulose. And then cellulase actually goes in there and breaks down like glucose. When it breaks down, it allows glucose to be released slowly, so you don't get these huge increases of blood sugar. So what that means is if you're a diabetic or you have somebody that's insensitive to blood sugar and you don't have this, you're going to have these spikes of blood sugar whenever you actually have fruit. And so this will help you provide a more stable food for your body. So as you can tell, there's so much in the digestive system, and that's why I wanted to take this extra time to be able to share it with you. And I guess why I really love this product, the Digestive Enzymes, it's just a great product for an incredibly wide number of reasons. First of all, it has a huge variety of digestive enzymes that address all the digestive enzyme issues that most people have, including carbohydrate metabolism, all the proteolytic enzymes and the fat metabolizing enzymes. It functions in a wide range of the pH. Your digestive system has different pHs all the way through. So the stomach has one pH, the small intestine has a different. And so these enzymes are formulated to survive and thrive in the full range of your digestive systems. They're bioavailable enzymes, which means they're key to reducing your intestinal stress. Because remember, I talked about this before, but intestinal stress is a major contributor to the formation of leaky gut. And leaky gut is almost chronic and epidemic, creating all kinds of inflammatory issues and autoimmune issues there. And the beautiful thing is these bioavailable enzymes that reduce the stress in the gut. They improve nutrient absorption. So look, the short of it is that digestive enzymes is a cost-effective, it's non-prescription, it's broad spectrum, it's a digestive enzyme formula that's suitable for whether you're a vegetarian or you're not, whether it's designed to help support digestion of fat, protein, carbohydrates, fiber, lactose. It contains, like I said, all the different lipases and proteases there, and all these different key digestive enzymes. And I think in closing tonight, one of the things that I've run into is that everybody's looking for the magic bullet, meaning they're looking for that one supplement to treat this. I have somebody come in with a supplement. What do I do to take care of my vision issues? What do I do to take care of my ADD? What do I do to take care of, the list goes on. The point is that it comes down to this, is that there's only one cause of sickness and disease, and that is the sick cell. There's only two causes of a sick cell, that's toxicity and deficiency. If the foods that you're eating, you're not able to break down and absorb, by definition, you're going to be deficient, and you're not going to be able to have the nutrients that your cells need to be healthy. If you're not able to excrete through your liver these toxins in your gut, you're going to be toxic. So if we're going to start looking at what can we do, one single thing that we can do to avoid toxicity and minimize deficiency is to start with our digestive system, and I start with the digestive enzymes. Hey, this is Dr. Osborne. If you have any questions, put them down below for me. But I just want to thank you for your time, and have a blessed evening.